Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Now, on the Eric Adams front, since we're here in New York City, yesterday, his motion for a bill of particulars was denied by the judge. But it may not matter if reports are true that there's a move to drop the case against him, or at least maybe plead it down to a misdemeanor. Now, the Jay-Z branch of the Sean Combs civil cases, Alex Spiro, who represents Eric Adams, also represents Jay-Z. After a lot of noise some time ago about Tony Busby of Houston being subject to sanctions for the way that he filed the cases for a particular Jane Doe, the motion for sanctions was unceremoniously dropped yesterday by Spiro. But he did file a motion to dismiss, so we'll be covering that as it goes forward. We did cover a pre-trial. This case is coming to trial February 18th. U.S. versus Charlie Javice, for allegedly defrauding J.P. Morgan Chase, a single victim. J.P. Morgan Chase was in the courtroom yesterday, but they kept trying to leave because they want to make it appear that the case is not really just the government acting for them, but it is. So we've written a book about that one. It's called FinTech Fraudster, ? You can check it out. We're working this sort of hype case that came through on Monday. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. We keep digging into it on the gag order and other issues. For example, anti-SLAPP. The case was initially filed in California. We're getting a right to sue, but instead of just a simple form online, they filed the whole complaint so it could be picked up by the Times, so that they could only get sued in California because California has an anti-SLAPP law, which we like. Anyway, it's all now here in SDNY, and we're working on something on it. There's a project coming. Just wait. On a more serious front, death penalty case. Luigi Mangione yesterday was appointed learned counsel. When there's a death eligible case where the death penalty, the federal death penalty, is on the table, you get learned counsel, which means basically a death qualified. It's weird. Death penalty case qualified lawyer, and he's got one now. So whether that means that it's actually they're going to move forward here, or if it's just a bureaucratical move, we don't know. But it did happen, and we did report it. Now, as to the UN, there's much to be said. We wrote another scoop about the Colombia mission. It's a total fiasco. But obviously the big news, I think, in international relations and international law was the announcement yesterday at the White House of a possible change of ownership or change of management of Gaza. I'm expecting today quite a bit of discussion of this at the United Nations. We're not allowed to enter it, of course, because we reported on the UN's corruption. And I guess my point that I want to say about this before we launch that coverage later today is that, at least as regards to the UN has been an absolutely useless force. If people won't agree with it, they'll say, oh, these great UNRWA workers, we've been there. They've been throwing gas on that fire for the longest. And so now there's this. So we will be reporting it. Eric Adams, we'll go global, back to local. He's having a press availability today at 11:30. I'm hoping to get some answers about this possible dropping of the case. And of course, there's any number of new cases coming flying along here in the SDNY. So we're now approaching the courthouse. There are no paparazzis out front. Today is a regular day. We're going to be in the Mad Court. We're going to be in all the courtrooms. We're going to be covering these various things. Watch this space.